Yo, what's going on, Donnies and Donettes? Come on, it's another week of the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Me. In today's episode, I've got a seasoned veteran guest, a DJ that's done so much different stuff, whether it's abroad, whether it's on TV, whether it's bars, clubs. I don't think there's any place this guy hasn't DJed. So there's a lot that he can share. And he's seasoned. He's been doing it for a long, long time. So there's so much that we can unpick from some of the stories that we're going to be picking up, or some of the stories and some of the ventures that we're going to be going on this podcast. So make sure you keep those ears clean, get the wax out. Time to start listening, boy. Anyway, let's run into the episode of this week's Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Roll the sexy VT. Oh my days, the man himself, Mr. Pete Sheriff, man. What are you saying, my bro?
How are you? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastically. I am actually doing fantastic, man. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today, Mr. Pete, man.
Not a problem.
I wanted to start by saying what inspired this podcast. For the listeners, what inspired this podcast? I done a short clip on Instagram where I was filming one of the Red Coat DJs while I was at Butlins with my son, and as I was putting some of the comments in there, one of the things, if some people read the caption, I was always quite interested in, is to how do Red Coats and places like that, how do they sort of train their DJs? How do you get into those things? When I was first coming in, which we got quite a lot of new DJs, they see these things and they think, how? And when we was talking through it, we was talking about beat matching, and Pete started a conversation, and me and you was just going back to back. The conversation started on Instagram, and I thought it would be beneficial for everyone and for myself to bring it to the pod. So that's going to be an amazing chat. We're going to get into that in a second. But before we get into all of that juicy stuff, I want my listeners to know a little bit more about kind of where you started, Pete. I want to go back to the start. I know. I kind of want to know kind of where you started, because for you and DJing has been a massive influence for a long part of your life, which is amazing. But it's good to know, where did these journeys start? So let's go from the beginning. And how did you get into DJing?
Oh man. Okay. So you get comfy, kids.
Get comfy.
Might take a while. Okay. I was a dancer I started dancing when I was 8.
Okay.
And I always had interest in music. The very first, and in post edit, you'll be able to put one of these on the screen. Right?
Yeah.
But my very first Christmas gift was a thing called a Frisco Disco.
Frisco Disco.
So it was made by Mattel. It's about this big, and it's got a deck on it, and it came with headphones and a microphone.
Oh wow! Where did you buy it? Do you remember where it was from? What shop was selling this? Because was it a DJ shop, or was this like your traditional?
No. This was a kid's toy. Right?
Oh, okay. So like Toys R Us and them places.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, back then, those sort of shops didn't exist when I was a lad.
Pete, how far are we going back, bro?
We're going back far enough for that not to be a thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Proceed.
So I am that old. So anyway. So Frisco Disco, I must have been about 6 or 7. So I always had an interest in putting these records on and whatever. My sister, okay, going to get deep now. So I was adopted when I was a kid, right? Okay. And my adopted sister was a DJ.
Okay.
Not a very typical one. She just went and played records and for people's parties, because my stepmom used to run a community hall. So she was the caretaker. So when they said, "Oh, do you know any DJs?" She'd go, "Yeah, my daughter. She used to go. She had this big cardboard thing with her name Anne written on it." Sorry, Anne, I've given you away. With Anne written on it in sparkles, right? And she used to just play Elvis records and various other things. Mm-hmm. So it was always a thing. I always had an interest in it. I got to I was dancing. I joined a big dance team that were like national. I was a break dancer.
Okay. And when you was breakdancing, what music was you breakdancing to? Was there a specific genre?
It was, back then, how old are you?
40.
If you don't mind me asking.
40.
40. Okay. So, yeah, I'm a little bit older than you. and wider. So
I'm wide enough as it is, to be fair.
trust me, I'm wide. I didn't used to be when I was a dancer. I could do back somersaults and everything.
No way.
Yeah. Now I will send you a video of me in 1985
Okay.
at a show, right? And this was the show. Somebody captured this on one of them, like, when you like videotapes.
Yeah.
This camcorder used to take videotapes. That's
The big ones. That's when they had
ago
like the massive.
Yeah. Panasonic something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, with the scope lens, it like you was a sniper shooter.
Yeah, totally. Somebody recorded me doing this show, and it was the same day that I had the conversation with. We used to travel around and do things for the local radio station in Birmingham, BRMB, and I got friendly with those guys for a number of different reasons. And I always said, "Oh, can I press the buttons? Can I do this? Can I do that?" And I was young, and they were kind of, "Yeah, just humour me." I kind of moved away from dancing at about 14.
Okay.
I was still doing it. And a kid at school said to me, "Oh, you know about music, don't you? Can you DJ my birthday party?" I was like, "It's not a bad idea. I know, I kind of got an idea of what I need to do."
Yeah, and you've been pressing buttons when those people have been letting you press the buttons.
Yeah,
so there's a little bit of training there, hasn't it? Yeah.
And they were really kind to me. They were like, it wasn't like, "Who's this kid?" It was like, yeah. Just you can sit on my lap, sonny, and press those buttons. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, we'll just make sure you don't set the rockets off, but you're fine. So I said yes. This guy was called Vincent. That's all I remember about him, right? And I said, "But I don't have any decks." And he said, "Well, my brother's got some decks." He said, "And he might let you use them."
Okay.
As it turns out, he wanted to sell them. So my stepdad, went, "How much are they?" I said, "Well, I think he wanted 300 quid or something at the time, which was fortune."
Yeah, 100%.
He said, "Well, just get them. Just get them. Let's go get them, and we'll see what happens." That was the start. I bought, and I can tell you exactly what they were. They were Google this one, kids. They were Foul Phoenix turntables.
Okay, guys, if you look on the screen now, if you're listening, you won't be able to see it, but if you're watching, look on the screen now. This is the image of the exact decks we're talking about here. Look at these guys. God damn. But
now,
anyway.
The thing is with these, they were almost the big ones. They were almost the ones that everybody wanted.
Okay.
They were the CDJ, almost the CDJs of the time. So if you imagine the CDJ 700s compared to your 3000s, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course. Okay.
The one that everybody wanted was a Thames 2. Now the Thames 2 would cue records up by itself.
Are we talking? Is this digital or analog?
No, I'm talking vinyl. I'm talking these, man.
So how is it? How is it queuing up? What?
Listen, all right. You literally put the arm on, and the motor would turn until it heard something, and then it would go back half a turn.
Get out of here! I've never heard of this wizardry.
M2, man. This was the deck before that. Right?
Okay.
Well, I would kind of like, oh my God, this is
amazing.
So I thought, in my head, I'm going, the next step for me is one of them.
Yeah.
I hadn't even started. That was my first deck, and I'm going, I'm already there. I'm already there. Yeah. Thames 2, man.
Thames 2, I'm getting it.
So I did the party. Lots and lots of my school friends were there. Lots and lots of people I knew were there.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks, I was doing the school disco.
Of course you was. And it was like, from that day, it's like exactly like with what you said, lots of people there, lots of people you knew was there, and a lot of your friends were there.
Yeah.
So everyone witnessed what you could do and what you was doing. Yeah. So from there, you was a DJ. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. It became, that was my thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. People just went, he's not, breakdancing was a big thing in my early life. Not only breakdancing, but jazz and contemporary and stuff like that. But the moment I played a gig,
Yeah.
everybody went DJ Pete.
Yeah.
DJ Pete, not Dancer Pete, not break dancer. Pete.
Even though you've been doing it for ages, I've been doing it.
Yeah.
Some of you lot, as long as you've known me, I've been a dancer. As long as you've known me, but from that one night,
yeah,
that was it. That was it.
That was the one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody warmed to me doing that more than they did me spinning on my head.
Yeah,
because everyone was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was doing it. With DJing, people just wanted to see what I was going to do next. I remember once, right? I was never part of the cool kids at school,
Mm-hmm.
and I always there was me and a mate, Raymond, and we were just two kids. Do you know what I mean? We're just two kids doing our thing, and I had a little bit of a reputation for being around when things, like entertainment-y things. So people would always come to me, and we'd be rapping Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew in the dinner queue. You know what I mean? That was us.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, we were not cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
The moment I started DJing, people who would never speak to me, who would never get involved with me, they weren't part of our friendship group, they weren't any of that. I started having conversations with about music.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's one guy, and this means a lot to me, because there was a group of kids that were way more intelligent than us, way cooler than us, way whiter than us. They were, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was the 80s, man.
I was going to say, what area was it? What area are we talking about here, Pete?
In Birmingham.
Birmingham. Okay.
A place called Tile Cross in Birmingham.
Tile Cross. Big up the Tile Cross gang.
Our school was quite multicultural for that kind of time.
For that era, yeah.
But not like they didn't mix together, but it was just, you do your thing with the ours and we'll all meet in the middle in the games room. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But one particular guy came and asked me for a record, and there were records back then, and I've still got the record now. And he wanted me to play the Smiths. What difference does it make? Right?
Okay.
Google that one. And I played it. Well, that opened a massive friendship between him and I.
Yeah.
And we are still friends now. It's 50 years later or whatever it is, 40 odd years later.
Mental.
And we're still mates now. And he's a comedian now. So on the circuit. Mm-hmm. So he does, really good comedy gigs. But him and I have connected over music all that years ago. And he followed my career, I follow his, and we've worked together on different events and stuff like that. So trust me when I tell you, it's worth being friendly.
Yep.
Being nice to whoever it is. And yeah, the landscape is slightly different now because, as we were talking earlier, people go,
yeah.
But one thing that, and me and my son were talking about this last night. One of the things that my advice to people, right? Mm-hmm. Never know, one, who's watching.
Oh, that's one of my things, Pete. Yeah, but carry on. Sorry, not.
And two, you never know who you're talking to.
Yes.
In my career, as long as it's been, I've always worked on that. There's three things. One, you never know who you're talking to. You never know who's watching, and always be around. Mm-hmm. This is how I got work. When I moved from doing sort of mobile stuff into bars and clubs, I was mega lucky. And I'll tell you a story about why you never know who's watching. Right?
Yeah.
I got this pub. I'd been there probably 3 weeks, and it was underground, this place. It was called Kaleidoscope. Now, for those brummies amongst the viewers and listeners will know that Kaleidoscope was a massive gig. There was a pub above it called Sam Weller's, and then there was a place called Kaleidoscope underneath it. And Kaleidoscope was the sort of secondary, bit crazy, lots of Larry lights. You'd have a seizure if you went in there because it was full on.
Lasers and all.
Whereas Sam Weller's was a bit more grown up and it was a bit more sort of 20 plus kind of up there. Mm-hmm. So I'd work Fridays and Sundays upstairs and Thursdays downstairs. So, and they were owned by the same company, but they weren't connected. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like a twin scene thing. It was more like just operated two separate businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I went and worked downstairs on a Thursday, and opposite, there'd been a big sale. One of the local, I'd say gangsters, but he wasn't a gangster. But if you Googled him, a guy called Eddie Futural, he used to own majority of the clubs in Birmingham.
He was a gangster, Pete.
He
He was a gangster. I can tell you. He was cleaning up cash. But anyway, that's another story.
I could just, mate, listen, I could tell you some proper.
Yeah, that's how, and I know you know that as well.
I'm not gonna go
You
there.
saw some stuff where you was like, oh my, okay, wow, okay, did I see that? Yeah, I did. Okay, I won't say nothing, I promise.
And the reason is because, I mean, when you see like people tell you stories about oh, he was a bad man and he had this, and like you see things on TV where he used to shine a light in people's faces and in a dark room, like a gangster room.
Yeah.
And they're trying to light on you and ask you loads of questions and say, you owe us £100,000.
Yeah.
This guy had an office like that.
No
and there was
way.
pictures. He used to sit at this desk. It was like, and I'm sure if his son ever hears this, right? I mean, God rest his soul, he's gone now. But if his son ever hears this, he'd be laughing because he had this massive desk, and behind him were all these pictures of all these people he met, right? And it was, like when you see like a film and they've superimposed a picture with somebody on it.
Yes.
Right? These were the real pictures, right? So there was him with Muhammad Ali, Tom Jones, Elvis, and all these different people on this wall sat behind him. He'd sit in this chair and he'd be like, I don't effing care about the music. You make sure they have a good time tonight. And he'd be like, oh my God, this is the most frightening thing ever. And of course, he's got this light in your face. And you're sat there, and like there'd always be a man at the door. There'd always
like
be
a
a
security guy or something. Yeah, okay.
Just in case you got out of hand.
Yeah. He's the boss. I can't have no one messing about.
Eddie Futural, legend. And I can't remember what I was telling you that. What did I tell you about Eddie? Oh yeah, so he owned lots and lots of places in Birmingham.
Yeah.
But a brewery owned Kaleidoscope and Sam Weller's, the places where I was working.
Okay.
He just sold his entire estate on this one road to a brewery, Ansell's, if you want to know.
Yeah,
but
big brand.
bought all these. Yeah, it was massive, and it was a massive deal. And they were spending a lot of money on refitting one particular part of this little setup, and they called it Busy Lizzie's. And everyone wanted to work there. All the DJs were jumping up and down trying to get a gig there.
And why was that? What was it about Busy Lizzie's that everyone wanted to be there? Was it like a popular location? Was it High Street?
Yeah, it was it was on a place called John Bright Street, and that place at the time was epic. I mean, if you go on Facebook and look for Birmingham clubbing and search for Busy Lizzie's, you'll understand why.
Okay.
At the time, it was the place for commercial. I say commercial. It was bordering on party, but then going a little bit dancey. Then go. It was just the place to go for so kind of 18 plus to sort of 20.
In terms of time, where are we at now in the years? What years are we talking about? 1991. Okay, cool. Just making sure we're staying on track on the timeline.
Yeah, in the timeline. Because Busy Lizzie's opened in 1991. The week before the opening, they realised so the idea was this was bigger and better than anything that had ever happened in Birmingham ever. That was their idea. So they went to a club called Bonkers in, I think it's still there now. It's Tenerife, I think.
Okay.
And hired the guy from there. Everybody loved him. Everybody said he was great. His name was Mad Mario.
Sick name.
And he always said, I'm not a DJ. I'm a performer. He was one of those guys.
Okay.
But he was a DJ. And he was a bloody good one.
Yeah.
But his style of DJing was, I'm going to play this record now. You're going to like it.
What, intimidation? Was it just like, you better dance to this tune?
Yeah. He'd drink a bottle of brandy a night and he would...
what? Whoa, hold on. A bottle of brandy, as in a 75 cl bottle?
He would drink a bottle of brandy a night and he would smash because this guy had come from Tenerife, where he was the man. Do you know what I mean? He could do no wrong on that
island.
On that island, he was the man.
Mm-hmm.
So he would do a bottle of brandy a night, and very quickly gain some notoriety in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Anyway, before the gig opened, they realised that he couldn't do every night because he'd be being a mess.
Yeah, that's too much.
So they were looking, they were literally going round on this night, and this is a true story. There's not a word of this that is fabricated, right?
Mm-hmm,
this is absolutely true. The guy's name, the manager's name was Tony. Tony and Mario were walking around the town looking for a second DJ.
Okay.
Now, you can imagine where this story's going to end, but how we get there is like, and still to this day, I'm going, did that really
go down? Was I really a part of that? Oh, yeah,
so,
it was.
I played, in them days, there was no CDs, it was just vinyl. So if you wanted a toilet break, you had to play the longest record
you can find. Yeah.
In them days, the longest record you had was Madonna's Vogue, right? Because it was like 8 minutes something, the 12-inch version. So you put that on, go toilet, depending on what your business was, depending on how long you were. In the nicest possible way. I was in the toilet doing my business, and I could hear Madonna finishing up. And I'm going, I'm going to make this.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to make this. So I pulled up my pants and started running. Right? Trousers around ankles.
No
right?
way.
I ran across the bar from one side to the other going, it's a bit of a joke. Running straight past Tony and Mario.
Yeah.
And I subsequently was told after, Mario turned to Tony and went, that's the guy I want. He hadn't even heard me play a record.
He just saw you running back to the booth. Your trousers in your
hands. I was that guy. And the rest is history.
No way.
I went to Busy Lizzie's for about 3.5 years the first time. And I moved away for a little bit. I DJed away in Telford and places like that.
Yeah.
And then went back there for a couple of years. And when I went back there, that's when things started to go mental for me.
Okay.
I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And again, you never know the reason why I'm telling that story. Watching. And you never know. I'm not telling everyone to go running from the toilet with their trousers around their ankles.
Definitely. Don't do that, guys.
Do what you do with the foresight that it's always an audition for something else.
For something else, yeah.
It could be, when I was doing mobiles way back in the day, in between that 1980 year, I won't say when, it was 1984-ish, 1985. So 1985 and 1990, my whole business and my whole gigs that I would do were generated by other people watching.
Yeah.
There was no social media.
I was just gonna say that was you got your gig from your gig before, like the gig you'd get a new gig from every gig, or sometimes if you was lucky 2 or 3 from the one gig that you would do, and people would be like, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, and like, wow, I've done this gig and I've got like 3 or 4 bookings. Yeah.
Well, there was an Irish family I worked for once, and they it was a wedding. Because back in the day, I couldn't drive. Obviously, my stepdad used to have to drive me everywhere. We bought a trailer for the back of the car, and he had a Mini Metro Mark II, because he bought random story. He bought a car. The day after he bought it, it got written off on the road. He wasn't in it. He was at home, and he came out of the car. Yeah. So he bought. So we always called it Mark II. Anyway, we bought a trailer. We had loads of gear. And we used to just drive around and just do these gigs. We used to keep the trailer in the garage, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
But it was a simple time because it was literally based on business cards. Somebody would come up, and while I was doing my thing, people would talk to my dad, and he'd give him a business card, and he'd give him a business card, and he'd give him a business card, and within 6 months, I bailed out of school. I got to exams and I went, I got gigs. See ya.
No, wait. So are you saying to me that you
Got
didn't do
anything.
your A level at the time? What was it? O levels at the
I
time?
did one exam. Yeah, it was O levels. I did one exam, and I was working for BRB, who I mentioned earlier, at the NEC for 2 weeks. And I went, I'm done. I was earning in them
Yeah,
days
good money. You're earning probably more than your teachers.
an unbelievable amount of money.
Yeah, you're earning more than your English teacher. You're like, sir, I'll buy you a drink. Well, I can't because I'm too young.
Go wrong. To be honest, it wasn't. It was a dancing gig as well. It wasn't a DJ gig. That was the thing. But I knew I wanted to be a DJ. So that time, let's see, there's probably 4 years there, 5 years, something like that, probably three and a half, maybe 4 years. How I got my first club gig is the most bizarre story, right? So I
where to go? Where do I go? How do I start this one?
No, so right, this will be a funny story, right? So I kind of liked this girl.
Okay. Here we go, lads.
And she was great. She was fun. And I decided they all used to go to this thing called Teen Scene.
Was that like an event or something?
Yeah, it was an under 18s like club night.
Yeah.
In the local club, which was called Snooty Fox and Scandals. Please don't
Snooty Fox is what it was called. Okay.
Fox was downstairs, and the Scandals was the club that was upstairs. And Snooty Fox and Scandals had been there for donkey's years, and it was on its not on its way out, but it had seen better days.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was still a club, and it was still busy at the weekend because in them days all clubs were busy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a thing called clubs.
There was a thing. This is before Netflix and before social media and before all the things that keeps us in our houses. But anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I decided I was going to go to. Don't get me wrong. I was no like nonce or anything. I was like 15, 16 at the time. So I think I like this girl. I think I'm going to go to this gig they're all talking about. So I went. I queued up. And I got in there, and I couldn't find it. The place was jam-packed full of flipping 15-year-old kids. I was like, I don't even know who I'm looking at. I can't find anyone. I did see a couple of people that I knew from the dance school. I thought, I'll go stand by the DJ. This will be my thing. Let me go stand by the DJ. So I stood by the DJ, watched what he was doing. I thought, this is great. The next week, I went back there, stood by the DJ, got chatting with him. His name was Adrian Newell, the DJ. And there is a link between me and him in a minute. But I was watching him, got chatting with him, great guy. And he said, I knew a bit more than the average person. And because I'd been back there 2 or 3 weeks on the trot, he was kind of like started going, you know a bit more about DJing than everybody else. And he said, do you want to come in and have a look round? And there was 2 Technics turntables, SL 1200s.
Yep, silver ones.
And there was, silver ones. Yeah. And there was a mixer, which was I want to say it was a Formula Sound. I mean, again, you're going to have to Google this and put it on the screen in post, right? But I always remember the LEDs on these things. The UV meters were curved.
Curved, yeah. There was another DJ on the pod. I think Daryl from Sweet Vibes had a very similar mixer when he set up.
They were the thing, right? For clubs, they were the mixer. You couldn't have anything else.
Okay, so that was like the Pioneer or the Alan Heath of today.
Yeah. Because believe it or not, children, Pioneer was not a thing.
No.
All right, Pioneer used to make car radios. That was the thing. No one cared about Pioneer.
Not like that in the DJ world. No.
It was Technics and it was Formula Sound, and to a later extent, it was Denon.
When did Sound Lab ever come into that? Sound Lab?
Well, if you wanted a cheap radio mic, yeah.
Okay.
They were very good for radio. I mean, I had a couple. They were very good for radio mics because back in them days, if you wanted a legal one, there were fortunes. But Sound Lab used to make stuff that make it in Japan or wherever, and they just whack a frequency on there, which was completely non-usable in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were like doing I remember once we were doing an outside gig, and I was talking on the microphone. It was like a carnival or something, and I was like hosting, and the police radio started coming across the because they'd used like really moody channels. But anyway, that's another story. So I'd gone to the gig. I was sitting there chatting with the DJ. After a few weeks, he said to me, I need to go toilet. Do you want to just play a record? I said, yeah, okay, cool. He said, I won't be a minute. Play a record, toilet break for the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, in them days, didn't mixed. You kind of crossfaded.
Yeah, fade, blend. Yeah.
It wasn't even a blend. It was more like a kid with calipers falling down the stairs. But anyway, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, record done. Resume my place, lemonade, happy days.
Yeah.
No problem. The next week, he's like, do you want to play a couple of records? I said, yeah, cool, no problem. Play a couple of records, boom. Week 5, he goes, I'll just go to the toilet. Do you want to play a couple of records? So, yeah, it's become a thing now. So people were going, Pete's playing.
Pete's, yeah, because you're coming off. You're swapping now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a couple of people from my school started turning up to this, going, Pete Sheriff played some tunes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I play some tunes. I get a tap on the shoulder, week 5. This guy, Neil, his name was. So, who are you? I said, oh, Adrian just asked me to play a couple of records. And he said, oh, right. He said, you've done this a couple of weeks now, haven't you? I said, yeah. I just literally give him a toilet break. I thought, I'm really sorry if I'm in the way.
I don't want to take the, yeah.
He went, no. He said, what do you do next week? I said, well, nothing, I'll be here. He said, right. He said, listen, come and see me in a minute, because he's going away to Lanzarote, Spain, to wherever he was going.
Holiday, yeah.
He's doing a summer season, and I need someone to cover this gig. He said, if you want it, you can have it, but come and see me in a minute, and we'll iron out the details.
Sick.
And I'm going, again, right place, right time.
Right time, but yes, there you go. There you go. I know, but the same thing like you were saying, Pete, at the start was about being a nice person. Like, you wasn't rude. You could have been rude when that guy came over to you.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
well,
You could have been.
If that had happened, not that it would have, but if that had happened, like it is 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the attitude from either party would have been very different.
Very different. It's very different.
But yeah, so he gave me the Tuesday night, the kids night, and I used to get paid 30 quid to do 4 hours, right? But my dad told me I wanted to be there. It was awesome. It finished at 9 o'clock. It was amazing.
And we're talking £30 back then. What year is this? This is now. Are we still in the 1991 season?
No, this is before that. This is 1988.
1988. I would say the power of £300 in 1998 will be the power of about. No, sorry, £30. The power of £30 in 1988 will probably be the power of about £120 now.
Yeah, it was worth me doing at the time.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I just for the kids listening, just want to let them know, when they heard £30, they're thinking, I can't even buy a pair of trainers. I said, no. Back then, that £30 would have got you. If you went to the sweet shop with your friends at that age, as you probably do, you could near enough buy at the shop. You know, like, you could near enough go in there and be like, all the candy, I'm having it all.
Yeah, I think the thing with it was I was desperate to play.
Yep.
I was just loving it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that amazed me, and you'll like this, the thing that amazed me, and something I still do today when I get gigs, right? All the records, because it was vinyl, was already there. The club in them days.
The club supplied the music.
You could take your own if you wanted, a couple of boxes, but the club had its own collection of tunes.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And everybody used to use them. So basically it meant in them days that the gig would always move forward, and everybody. So musical genres and whatever else, and the club would have a bit of not a theme, but it would always be in the same vein. Do you know what I mean? Because what you got to think of in them days, multi-room clubs were not a thing.
Okay, it was just one room venues all the time.
One room venue. So the DJ, and I hate the term, and I really do hate the term open format, but if you imagine every club DJ up until
late 90s,
people started making multi-room venues, those DJs had to play everything. You had to play soul, you had to play dance, you had to play R&B, you had to play rap.
You got to keep that room. You have to keep
party. And you had to make that room not only so in your mind. We'll get to why this is a thing in a minute, but if you in your mind's eye you have a massive room and everybody from every walk of life is in that room, right? You've got to make sure not only that you touch, not physically, but mentally touch one of those people with all of those iterations of people with what you're playing, but you also make sure that the bar takes some money.
Yes. This is one thing I think when people get into those venues, they forget about how important it is to the venue for you to be able to cycle people on your floor, and like you said, to hit all of those different points, get the bar moving, keep people going. So bangers never work. Some people think you can play. No, that's not how you make it.
Rotation is the most important thing to somebody who owns a bar. Let me tell you, because if you're ragging it, and yeah, great, you look like a genius, and you're David Guetta in the arse out of it, brilliant. No. Not for the people that own the gig.
No, they won't book you. They won't. You're like, I smashed it. They're like, yeah, but you didn't. We never took any money. Like we took a third of what we normally take. So yeah, you're out. And you're like, oh, I thought I was the man. So no, you don't. You need to understand it a bit more.
Yeah, and you know, so winding back slightly. So that gig. I got the kids gig, this teen scene thing.
Did you get the girl, Pete?
Well, so after 3 or 4 weeks, and there was lots and lots and lots of people in there, not everywhere, right? There was the DJ console was in the corner of the room, right? And there used to be a window to your right for requests.
Okay, all right.
Because people used to stick their head through the window, ask for a request, and that'd be that.
Okay.
There used to be a group of girls that stood at the other side of that window. One of them had big blonde curly hair. And it was my Tuesday night thing every time just to give it a tug and happy days. That would be my, isn't that funny? What? Fast forward 35 years, yeah, she's upstairs in the office.
Oh, you're lying. Are you telling the truth? No way, Pete.
You did, I think, upstairs. So, yeah.
He got the girl, guys, and he kept it, yes.
So she after a little bit of toing and froing and courtship, and then one goes off one way and gets married, the other one goes off and does their thing, and then we eventually 26 years later went, oh yeah, I remember you. Oh, yeah, we're still doing it.
Oh, that's wicked. That's wicked, man.
So you never know who's watching, you never know whose hair you're pulling.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we do know whose hair we're pulling, but you definitely don't know who's watching for sure.
So where were we? So the year is 1987. I was still kind of doing mobiles when I got the Busy Lizzie's gig, but it didn't last long after that. I literally was so desperate to do clubs and bars, and I would do anything.
Why was it that you why was the mobile not as good as the clubs and bars in your opinion? What do you think was the massive difference?
Oh man, I think the difference in between doing clubs and bars was for me, I didn't have to take no gear.
Okay.
It was literally a box of records. I could take 2 boxes of records and a bag, and I was sorted. If I had to go and do a mobile, yes, I'd be finished earlier, and yes, probably the money would be better. but it was a hassle for me.
Mm-hmm,
And I was just in that mindset. Clubbing was where I wanted to be.
mm-hmm,
That was my goal. I loved at the time, I couldn't think of anything more bizarre now for me, but at the time, I couldn't think of any way to service both ends of the. I loved mobiles and I loved getting to know people.
mm-hmm.
But when I went to a gig in a bar, people who'd been to all these gigs come to the bar. And my mind was blown by that.
Yeah.
I'm in this place and people come to watch me do what they were hiring me to do because they just needed a DJ.
Yeah.
But now people were coming to watch me do that week out. That blew the back of my head off, man.
Yeah. You're like, what, me?
I went, yeah, because as far as I was concerned, up to that point, yeah, I was a bit of a, way, and people would go, oh, Pete is a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? And I took risks, and that was one of the so I'll come to how this ends up here in a minute, but I took risks, and I took risks that were running across the dance floor with your trousers around your ankles, screaming, got me somewhere.
Yeah, but you done that for the laugh of it. It was more of the laugh of it.
Yeah.
But what happened from that? It was like, oh wow, I was just doing that to just, you know, to that you said being a cheeky chap that I am, but then that got me noticed.
Exactly right. But I didn't. It's only in reflection I go, oh yeah. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't purposely. I didn't set it.
No, you wasn't seeking to do that. No.
Where I went, right, I'm going to go in the audience. I'm going to stand up and shout Simon and hope that he notices me. No, I was doing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, so I get the job at Busy Lizzie's. I won't say how I got from Snooty Fox and Scandals to working at Sam Weller's and Kaleidoscope. That's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't want to get into that. But I had to move from Snooty Fox and Scandals, right? Because I'd made a bit of an error. And look, if you ever get into a situation, and this is in all seriousness for just a second, if you ever get into a situation where things get in a gig, mobile or club environment,
yeah,
and this is the honest opinion, and there was a story I'm sure you remember a couple of months ago of a DJ who fell out with the warm-up DJ and he ended up getting punched in the face and all that.
Oh yes, yeah, I saw that.
Now, my advice, my old sage grey beard advice for people: if there's a circumstance that you cannot control, step out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do not engage.
Yeah.
It's just pointless, and it will send you off in a trajectory again because you never know who's watching, and you never know what's going to happen on the other side of that. So if ever there's a situation that looks like it's going to go off, back out of it. Yeah. Just put your shit down and get out of there.
Yeah, 100%.
Listen, so many DJs that I spoke to over the years have got into bother with customers, with
venue owners, promoters.
I'll tell you a story about a DJ, right? That was at a gig, and I can't say where, and I can't say who, right? But it wasn't me. There's a DJ. It really wasn't me. There's a DJ working in the north. That's as vague as I can be.
That's the most you're going to give us, guys. It's in the north.
Yeah,
that's it.
Decided that when they were telling him, right, you got 10 minutes, we're shutting at 2. He went, no, I'm keeping playing.
The DJ's telling the club this.
Security told the guy, right, you're done at 2. He's like, no, I'm going to keep going. And then proceeds to row with the doorman that he wants to play his last record and ends up rolling around on the floor with him. And I'm going, what, why?
What?
This was last year sometime.
Last year? 2024?
Yeah.
He's tussling on the floor with the security.
With the doorman. Why? And you go, no, your breakaway point was, it's 5 to 2. It's time to stop. Okay, no problem.
No
See
problem.
You later.
I'm out. Yeah,
Bye now. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, it's been
Thanks
fantastic.
for watching.
See you later. Yeah.
Do you know, this guy now, why? So my little tete-a-tete with a customer in 1989, 1990, sent me on a trajectory that I'm grateful for, but I always think back and go, what if that hadn't have happened?
Mm-hmm.
Where would I be?
What would have happened? Yeah, because yeah.
That was a sliding doors moment for me, where I got involved with in a row with a customer who didn't like what was happening. Nothing really to do with the music or the DJ. It was just they didn't like the vibe, right?
Yeah.
I ended up walking away from them. They pulled me back and ripped my t-shirt. Went off from there. I ended up leaving that gig and going into Birmingham City Centre and asking the question if I could DJ at Sam Weller's, and that's how it started.
Okay.
So I got the 2 nights in Sam Weller's and 1 night in Kaleidoscope, and then that led on to me doing Busy Lizzie's.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to chop that up in whatever way you see fit. Good luck. Hope you got a sharp pen.
Pushing it that way, kind of that one, and pointing that way to the picture.
So where are we in the timeline now? Let me think. So Busy Lizzie's, right. So Busy Lizzie's came about, and I loved it. It was the greatest gig you've ever seen in your life. So this place, right, they asked me to go, and I didn't do the opening night because literally it was the night before when they saw me, and I was doing a gig on the opening night, so I couldn't be there.
Yeah.
But I went there on a Saturday and I watched Mario do his thing. Mad Mario's name was.
Yeah.
And it was like nothing I'd ever seen. Like I said to you, he wasn't a DJ. He called himself a performer. But he was a DJ. He was like half man, half performer.
Yeah.
Half DJ, half performer. Do you know what I mean? He could play a record, and he could let the record fade out in the middle of a busy bar. There'd be like 800 people in this bar. He'd let the record just fade out.
Okay.
And he'd pick up the microphone, and he would talk for 10 minutes.
Talk?
Just talk.
And obviously people stop dancing and just listening to this guy.
Yeah, just listening to him and watch. Because in them days, in Busy Lizzie's had 190 there were no flat screens then. These were TVs with tubes on the back, man.
Big back, yeah.
All in the bar, right? And a big camera in the front. So he would just stand on stage. He wasn't telling jokes. This geezer was just talking. 10 minutes.
Okay.
It just chat. And I'd be like, this is so weird. And then he'd walk out the front. It was like he was hosting flipping Miss World or something. It was bizarre.
I'm trying to picture this, Peter, and I can't. I'm trying to.
He will
let a tune fade and talk for 10 minutes. Like, what's he talking about? Because you're saying he's good. You're not saying he was. You're not saying he was bad.
He was awesome.
He was okay. So he was awesome.
But he would just talk about anything. He all right, where you from? How you doing? You getting married? But he wasn't doing a comedy routine. He was just chatting. But it was that engaging that you go, I want to see what this geezer's going to say and do next.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was bizarre. So kind of, I kind of got the gig because they wanted a DJ.
Yeah, not someone who's going to...
Not someone that was... So the two of us kind of did opposites. So I worked with him for about 3 months, and the amount of stuff I learned from that guy, we used to do a routine. Oh my God, right. There's a record, a vinyl record, of Thunderbirds, right? Called...
Is it the original theme tune of Thunderbirds from the...
No. Okay. Way back in the day in the 60s when Thunderbirds came out, it was all the rage to put speaking and talking and bits out of the shows on vinyl, right?
Okay.
And there's one particular... I don't know if you know Thunderbirds. I'm getting a little bit geeky now.
I do know Thunderbirds, actually, yeah.
So you got all the Tracys that lived on the island, then you got Lady Penelope and Parker.
Yes.
Right? Well, Parker made a record called Yes, My Lady.
Okay.
So, yeah, now we're getting deep, right? So Parker made the song called Yes, My Lady, and Mario had a routine to Yes, My Lady. He was Parker, and he pretended to drive the car, and it's a very funny routine, and I think when he was in Lanzarote or Tenerife, he had a second DJ which I replaced when he came over here. So his name was Scotty, but when Mario left Tenerife, Scotty took over.
Okay.
Scotty, from what I know, is still doing that Thunderbirds routine in Tenerife, right?
So it's a good routine then. It works.
It's a great routine. But it was a comedy routine to this song. That's how me and Mario connected. He was like, right, I wanted to do. We used to wear green leggings pulled up here, right? Tight green leggings. And the thing with the Thunderbirds, and everyone's going, Mario, do Thunderbirds, was he used to cycle through the characters in the song. And if you know the song, then you'll understand. But he used to have loads of hats, and he used to switch the hats. It's a brilliant.
It's a comedy act. Yeah, it's 100%. It's a comedy act with music included.
Yeah, but he would just randomly do that in the middle of a night. So he got himself a reputation. Anyway, time went on, and he decided he wanted to move on. He was getting bored being in the same gig. He wasn't. I don't think he was really enjoying it. I think he was missing the chaos.
The buzz,
It was a little bit. It was quite tame at that point for him. They'd still let him do his brandy. They'd still let him do what he wanted, but he'd done his routine over and over and over and over again. And it was leaning more and more towards just being a music venue and video, because video was quite a big thing then. Let me tell you, right? We used to have 3 Panasonic top of the range video players, with tapes. We used to play music off. And you used to have to run to the back of the console and press play and
run back.
Crazy times, right? All the time to be alive. Mario decided he wanted to move on. And the natural progression was just to push me forward as the main DJ, which was fine by me. I was quite happy.
Yeah,
so I did that for a couple of years. Got myself a little team that would sing to every record. They were called the Posse. And they would sing to every record. They'd always have they were football fans. So they had alternate versions.
Football versions of the songs that you was playing.
Of popular songs, ones that you can't sing now.
Yeah, because the words that we would say are probably not politically correct anymore.
It's more than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
we decided once that once Mario had gone, I went into full steam ahead then. So I decided the big thing that happened was I said, we're going to do a Star Trek night. And this is where people started to kind of notice me as because I didn't really drink back then. And we'd had a mad night. And I said, let's do a Star Trek night. It was like, Star Trek night, you're going to pull this off. So I started doing, and many, many people have ripped this off since. So we used to have these screens. And the reason why I mention this, we used to play Star Trek for a laugh, old 60s Star Trek, right? And my thing was certain points in the night, I would overdub what was going on the screen.
Okay.
It's a great clarity of the people that were watching.
Yeah.
Because I would make it as random or as sexy or as racist as I wanted, right? And that was quite fun. So I said, we're going to do Star Trek night. And my girlfriend at the time was like, yeah, but who's going to play who? We got like a guy that used to look after the lights. There was my girlfriend and me. I said, right, I'm going to dress as Captain Kirk because, why wouldn't I? Because look at me. I am Captain Kirk.
I look like Captain Kirk.
So I said, and in a mad, please, nobody ever bring this up because she'd be mortified and probably get arrested. She dressed as a Uhura with boot polish, the whole thing, right?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And Tony, who was the kind of guy who looked after the lights and helped out and warmed up a bit. He refused. Right? He said, "I'm
not getting involved in this. This is just what you're not doing is crazy."
But what I told the punters was Patrick Stewart, because we were into Next Generation. Patrick Stewart is going to come to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a guest.
But
you can see where this is going, can't you?
Of course.
I'm going. And of course, we played it, and even to the point where the manager, because it changed managers a couple of times by then, manager pulled me to one side at the end of one night and he went, Patrick Stewart, what is this going to cost us any money? Do we have to do anything?
Yeah,
do we need to have a rider?
Yeah.
What do we do? I went, it's all under control. He's going to come in the back door. He's going to wave. He's going to say hi, and he's going to go again. And people are like, you're shitting me.
Yeah, you're chatting rubbish. You're not going to get this guy.
Patrick Stewart, he's going to turn up.
Yeah, okay, no, what happens then?
I've got to about a week before and I'm going, fuck.
Everyone's expecting it. Everyone's expecting this now. Like, you've hyped it.
The hype, just, and because, again, no social media, no nothing, no radio, no television. No. It was just people talking. And I got people that wound up with the fact, even if you didn't like Star Trek, you wanted to see whether Patrick Stewart was going to come through that door.
Yeah.
The place was nuts. It was a Sunday night. It was off its nut. I'm there dressed as Captain Kirk. She's got boot polish on her face. And we're going, right, here we go. So I said to Tony, go upstairs. Patrick Stewart is waiting for you upstairs. Bring him down here and literally bring him on the stage, let him wave and take him off again.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. No mobile phones back then, remember? So he's got no way. After he'd left that DJ box, all he can do is follow the instructions I've given him.
Yeah.
He goes away. I've hit the Star Trek music. Next Generation is playing. I could see the door open, and he found the cardboard cutout of Patrick Stewart, brought it through the door, put it on stage, and of course, them moments where like everyone's like, I think it's Airplane. Right, where there's loads of people watching the screen and they'll go, yeah, cardboard cutout Patrick Stewart, and it was a brilliant one, life sized.
Yeah, good one.
Walked him on the stage, left him there for a second, and then walked him out, took him back in the exit, and shut the door. Greatest moment of my life. I didn't say it wasn't a cardboard cutout; it was Patrick Stewart.
It was.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Done.
Did you get any backlash for it? Did you get any I'm not. Like, there must have been a few people that's like, nah, like, you stitched me. You stitched me up.
But it was done in such a way, and I think they were distracted by the fact she was there with boot polish on her face. But but it was because she was. The thing was that she was my wife by then. She was a hair and beauty specialist. So she was, the fact that she'd gone out tonight dressed as a hura, polish on her face, was just insane. Anyway,
oh man,
so that was what Busy Lizzie's was like. It was mad. It was I could get away with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
To a degree, and we used to have water pistol fights inside with lights everywhere, and we'd be. Just insane.
Do you know what's wicked though, Pete, that you say that? There's a lot of people that, I don't know if you keep friends with people from back then, but you've created some memories that will never leave people's minds from some of the things that you've done at that venue back then, with the craziness and the things that you could do and the way you can't do half the things that you was doing back then now. Oh, but in terms of memories, memorabilia, nostalgia, all those kind of things, like there was things that you was doing in that, especially that venue. It sounds like from the other ones that you spoke about, this one sounds quite prevalent in that sense, and the way you got in there and the hype that it had and everything else, it ticked all the boxes for all of those things to kind of happen. But I'm sure there's some people that they would be talking those stories to the people that they can. I'm like, do you remember? But do you remember when he said this and then this happened and then they came on the stage and we felt ripped off? But years later, we've spoken about that story every single year since it happened back then. So
and the thing was, back. But let me tell you, one of the things was you didn't have to pay to get in. It was free.
Okay.
So we could pretty much do the fact that we kept a captive audience in a bar that didn't have to pay in. That mechanism of getting people to pay into a venue so they don't leave.
Yeah.
Would not think. And so the fact that we could keep them in there.
Yeah.
And they had no recourse to staying there other than to see what the hell was going to happen next.
Yeah. Just staying captivated.
Yeah.
Question I've got for you is, was you beat matching at this time, Pete?
To a degree, yeah.
Or was it still the fading? Was it still?
No. There was there is a reason why I had to kind of. I was desperate. There was and people listen to this are going to go, yeah, right. But there was a need in me to elevate things.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get from A to B. I wanted to be a club DJ. I didn't want to be a bar DJ.
Gotcha.
But the only way I could get where I wanted to be was to be in the bar, and that was my circumstance. I was in the biggest bar and the best bar in town, but it wasn't where I wanted to.
Yeah, you really still wanted to go up. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So they'd opened a club next door.
The same owners.
The same company, yeah, and called All Ins. And I always wanted to work there. It didn't open very well. I think they opened with like an over 25 strict policy and it died like week one.
Okay.
So it went on a bit and then they hired in the right DJs and they kind of fixed it. But me and on a Thursday night, there was a radio presenter who I'd known from BRMB, who was doing guest spots.
Okay.
So we got him to do guest spot, and they tried to double him up in Busy Lizzie's and All Ins. So he asked me to go across when we finished at one, come across to the other one and just warm it up for me, put me on, and then happy days.
Mm-hmm.
Again, doing that, somebody went, "Oh, you'd be good doing this, or you'd be good doing that, or you might be. We could use you." God, this is so weird. I've never told the entire story. You know, this is the thing. This is the weird thing. So I decided that there was I don't know whether you've ever heard of this club. It was called the Dome.
The Dome. Where is it? Is it still in Birmingham?
Yeah.
The Dome.
And the original Dome was built in. It used to be called in the 70s and 80s. It was a place called the Night Out. The Night Out Theatre Restaurant. You can find a picture of that and put it on the screen.
Here we go,
now. Guys.
Have a look at the theatre. What's it called? Sorry again, Pete?
The Night Out.
The Night Out Theatre.
Yeah.
In Birmingham.
And this place was renowned for having on people like the Gibson Brothers and the Wurzels and the Black Abbots and all people that every single person listening to this will not know.
They won't know. No.
They were old kind of 70s, 80s pop acts that used to do the social club circuit. And they were, you know, people like Bob Monkhouse had done like a comedy sketch there, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was that time. It was that time.
Yeah, it was that time, and it was a kind of place that the bigger acts would go without going to, because there was no NEC back then, and there was no there was a place called Bingley Hall, but it was a big stage. It was a big stage. You could go, but it wouldn't cost an arm and a leg. And he used to have chicken in a basket when he used to go in there. Everyone would sit there and have chicken in a basket and watch the Gibson Brothers. Happy days. I'd got a bit of history in that because when I was in the dance school, they used to do dance competitions in there. So I knew the building. And I always wanted to DJ there. I said, man, if I'm going to DJ anywhere, I want to DJ in there. I can't remember how, but I got asked to go and play there. But I didn't get asked to go and play there. It was actually what they called the Senate Lounge, which was like a sort of function room off from the main club. I was gutted. I was going to play the Dome. Playing the Dome. I'm playing in the Dome. Actually, no, you're playing adjacent to the
Yeah,
dome.
that little venue on the side that's
The little
attached to the
venue on the
dome.
side.
That's where you're at.
But you know what? I got booked to do a couple of parties in there. Fantastic. Little mobile, I had my stuff. Everybody was happy, playing with things. They had me from 7 till 11, and then 11 till whatever time they went in the main room. I'd been in there once, I think, when it was rolling, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" It was 2,850 capacity. It was insane. Had a massive metal dome across the dance floor. Again, you'll probably find some pictures of it.
Yep.
Original dome one, and it was nuts. It had lasers, it had everything. And in them days, in the sort of early 90s, it was the place. Oh God, this is where I get a little bit emotional. I got asked if I wanted to take over the Tuesday night.
Okay. Sorry, Pate, it's a timeline. Where are we at now, timeline?
We're in
1995, 1994?
Before that, we're 1993, 94.
Okay. Cool.
Hang on. No, maybe 92. Because to tell you how I know that is because the opening record of the night that I started was Always There by Incognito and Jocelyn Brown.
I don't know how you do this. I don't know how some of you guys are able to draw dates, names, tracks. Like, yeah, that's a skill I haven't got. But yeah, you know it by the tune that was released at the time when you opened that place.
K Class, Rhythm is a Mystery, and Always There, Jocelyn Brown are my two opening records, right?
Okay.
I was terrible. I didn't fit the profile. I did probably 3-4 weeks. I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing. And I couldn't project in the room. Now, bearing in mind, I was rolling at this point. Busy Lizzie's was a success.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, you're semi-certified.
Yeah. So I was, but I was that excited and that buzzed about wanting to do that. I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wasn't. My brain was going further than the physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not prepared.
Pushing too far. Yeah.
So that didn't last long. But the guy that I was working for, he left, and a new guy came in. For some of you kids out there may know a name by the name of Mark West. Now, Mark West in the UK is probably a lot of people know him because he opened a chain of bars and ran this chain of bars, and he opened them on a budget, shall we say. He opened these chain of bars on a budget and then ran them for like 5-6 years and then sold them for like millions of pounds. Like, made a lot of money. And he's a really good guy. He's a really talented entrepreneur, shall we say.
You said Mark West, right?
Mark West, yeah.
I'm trying to search him now.
Yeah, well, his real name is Mark Shorting, which you'll probably find him on there, but his DJ name was Mark West. Now, let's wind back a few years before that. He was a DJ at Orleans.
Okay.
And had his hand in being a manager as well. So when he turned up as the manager of the Dome, I went, I know that guy. He used to be at Orleans. So a few things went on. He said, listen, I can't keep you here as a DJ because you're not ready. You're not ready to do what I want you to do.
Okay.
But here's a number. Ring this guy. He's got a project that he's working on. I think you'll be perfect.
Okay.
I said, okay, cool. Bit gutted.
Yeah.
The DJ that came in, his name was Spike. Now remember that name, right? I went off, shook hands with the pair of them, and went on my way. I didn't ring the number straight away. I rang the number probably, they were into 1994 now. 1994. I've done the Busy Lizzie's thing. I hadn't gone back for the second time just yet, but I'd done the Busy Lizzie's thing. I finally got the courage to ring the number. I got this guy, John, and he said, oh yeah, Mark's told me all about you. He said, I think I have seen you play a couple of times. He said, but do you want to, I'm doing this thing called troubleshooting. I went, okay. He said, and you'd be the perfect DJ. He said, what we would be doing is we'll land at venues that aren't performing very well.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll stay there for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, put a plan in place,
Okay.
try and turn the club, and then
Okay,
we'll
bring the place back up to life, like revive a place.
hand it back to the general manager and the DJ. And so no one gets fired or anything like that, but we just go in there and steer it in the right direction. Oh my God, my Alexa has just shown me a picture. I'll wait for the next time it comes around and I'll show you. But there's a picture on my Alexa of me and Tony in Busy Lizzie's the week before we did the Star Trek thing. Hang on. When that comes round again, I'm going to show you.
That's crazy. Oh, what, is it on like a loop?
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't know whether I've got enough cable there to show you. Anyway, if that comes up, I'll take a picture of it and show you. So I said yes to this thing. I didn't know what was going on. I'd lost my job at the Dome. I was only playing 2 nights a week or something. He said, I was doing Busy Lizzie's on a Friday and Saturday and doing like the Dome on like a Tuesday and a Thursday or something like that. He said, come with me and it'll be fun. We'll have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this from Adam. I knew his name, but I didn't really know of him or never met him really. So he picked me up from my mum and dad's house in an Audi 80, right? I had a box of records, I had an overnight bag, and I said, where are we going? He goes, we're going to Croydon. I went, come again? He said, we're going to Croydon. It's a Monday morning.
Going from Birmingham down to Croydon, South London.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Monday morning. He said, we're going to be there all week. He said, I'll drop you back here on Sunday. I said, I'll be back in a minute. Mom, I'm going to Croydon. I'll be back in a week.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm still living with my mum's. I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. Anyway, get in the car. He smokes all the way, because in them days, he'd literally do 40 fags on the way to Croydon.
Jeez.
All right. We didn't really talk on the first journey. We just kind of did our own thing. Oh, look, a service station. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get to Croydon. He lands on the front door, knocks the door. We go into this club, and this club was beautiful. I mean, it's called the Blue Orchid. Is it the Blue Orchid? Blue Orchid in Croydon.
Okay.
And the club was beautiful. It was absolutely a bar called the Moonshine on the front, and the club was a classic chrome club, no screens, 2 dance podiums, a massive DJ console on a balcony overlooking the dance floor. The place was immense. We ummed and ahed, we looked around, we spoke to the manager. They had many meetings. I just kind of hung about. Got to the Thursday there. I was supposed to open Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They shut Tuesday and shut Thursday because there was no one going in there.
Oh, okay.
Got to Friday night, and literally there would have been 20 people in a 1,500 capacity
in this
club.
amazing club, 1,500 capacity, and you got 20. This is failing.
They literally ran it into the ground by accident.
Jeez.
So right, okay. So we came up with a plan. I would play the records for a bit in line with the resident DJ, because we didn't want to get rid of anybody. We just wanted to put them back on track. So Simon, who was the DJ at the time, and me just worked out a plan. I'd warm up, he'd do his bit, I'd go back on and finish the night off. That's how relieve the pressure of what was happening. That worked to a degree. Within 3 or 4 weeks, they'd done the promotion properly and got the place back where it should be. So people started coming back in there, because the bar at the front of the venue was busy. Mm-hmm. No one wanted to go in the club because it was priced wrong, and it was, do you know what I mean? No one wanted to go in there.
Some things, there was a lot of friction. It sounds like there was just a lot of things that need to be ironed out. Yeah.
The door staff were wrong as well. They didn't have the right people on the front. They weren't very welcoming. Mm-hmm. It was a bit scary to go in there. Anyway, they sorted all that out. And within sort of 4 or 5 weeks, we turned a corner with it. There's a story there, but I'm not going to tell it. With Alexander O'Neill, but I'm not going to tell that story. So anyway, cut a long story short, we do 6, 8, probably 9 months in Croydon.
Wow.
Club's great. The company say, right, you need to move on to the next one. So, okay. So we go to Milton Keynes. Mm-hmm. Milton Keynes, a club called Golden something. I can't remember what it was called. Golden something. It's not there anymore, but it did change names and become the Empire, and I did circle back and go back there. Anyway, I did my bit in Milton Keynes. I did a bit of the Empire in Leicester Square, and Happy Days, right? I move off because I wanted to get back into a club that was mine. Busy Lizzie's became up again, and they said, would you want to come back? It's okay, but we need to guide the ship a bit. I said, okay, cool. So I went back. Lo and behold, lots of the people that I was there from the beginning are still there. And the place is rolling. So I said, yeah, cool. So I basically picked up where I left off. DJ of the Year competition had been running for about 4 or 5 years. And I said, I'm going to go for it.
Who's hosting it? What company is doing this? Because there'll be lots of different.
Yeah, this was the national one.
Okay.
This was sponsored by Pioneer at the time.
Okay,
we were trying to get in randomly. Sound Lab, Pioneer, and MD 2020. Right?
As in the drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were the sponsors, right? There was 3 heats, an audition, 3 heats, a semi-final and a final, right? And they do them on like a Thursday in a gig where it wasn't busy. They got in with the national club company, so you had to travel. So I think I did my audition in Nottingham. I think I did my first heat in Derby. I think I did a one somewhere else. Anyway, I got through all those heats and I took the team from the little posse crew that I had in Busy Lizzie's. I took them with me.
Yeah, of course. That's because that is a lot to go to those kind of competitions. You have to go with something. Otherwise, going by your own. Anyone that does that, salute. That's not easy.
I would be for DJ competitions. I would be my advice to anybody doing it would take somebody with you because don't go on your own because it can be the pressure.
Yeah. And if you've got no one, and you can only be talking to yourself in your head, I think bring someone.
You need not only that with the DJ competition, you need people to fill the room and gauge the reaction. If you don't know a venue, and this was the hardest thing about doing DJ of the Year, was you'd turn up at a gig in Nottingham, you wouldn't know what the genre was, you wouldn't know but in them days, again, like I mentioned earlier, it was one room.
Yeah.
So you had to play every genre. Not everybody could pick one record that no one else could play. So that's how the competition worked.
Okay.
Anyway, so Busy Lizzie's, everything was cool. I was doing DJ of the Year. I got to the final DJ of the Year, and they hadn't announced where the final was going to be. So I'm going. It could be anywhere. It could be London. Could be wherever.
Yeah.
They released the date and the time and the place was the Dome in Birmingham.
No way.
So you can imagine the back of my head blew off, man. Yeah. I went, okay, it's game on.
Game on. It's time now. It's time to go back to where I once was.
There's a lot at stake here. So I got my team. I knew the lighting jock. I knew the building. I knew the doorman. I knew everybody.
Yeah. You put in the work.
But what I couldn't do, because of just the logistics of it, we went for the meeting and they went, listen, we can't say you're from Birmingham because if we do, the roof will blow off this place. So we're not going to say where you're from.
Yeah,
we're just going to introduce you because it'll be an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
I said, that's cool. I said, I don't care. I've got a plan. And I'd already kind of worked something out in my head about what I was going to do. Bearing in mind, still got little Mad Mario squeaking away in my ear as my little devil going, do something mad.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is, so the prizes were on the conveyor belt, $5,000 in cash.
Nice.
Right? 2 CDJ 500s. The very first ones, right?
But that's what was out at the time, right? It's not like there was
these literally were just on the market, right? They hadn't been really tested. They were just brought out and that was it. So it's 1995. Sound Lab radio mic. What else was there? Oh, yeah, a year's supply of MD 2020. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I kind of went, listen, this will be great. This will be great. What can we do? So I had a little meeting with the lads and said, right, what do you think? And they said, it's big. You need to do this on your own. It's not something we can get involved. We'll be there in the front row to support you, but you need to do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the Dome in the day and I had a little walk round and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. Don't know what I'm going to do to make this special. And in the previous heats, I'd done things like spray the crowd with foam and do some scratching and just silly shit, really. Mm-hmm. I kind of kept looking up. I was going, so I'm going to abseil from the ceiling, right, onto the stage. And you know where this came from? You know the opening, Boom Shake the Room, Jazzy Jeff and the Freak.
Yeah.
The opening of that song.
Yes. Yeah.
What happens at the opening of that video?
What, when
they abseil onto the stage and start singing.
But where did it come from? Did it come from the top of the top of the building, or did it come from a chopper?
They come from the lighting rig in the top,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they abseil down, and he takes his thing off and goes, "Yo, back up now, give him the room."
Yeah.
I'm going, I can do that. I could do that. So I went to Snow and Rock, bought myself some rope, right?
You're really going for it. You're really gonna go for it.
I'm going. I want to win DJ of the Year. I want to be the man.
I get it.
I'm going to do this. So I bought myself some ski gloves so I wouldn't get rope burn. I bought myself some rope, right? I got it all set up, and because they allowed you to, they would start your first record for you if you wanted to start off stage.
Okay, so you can come on stage while you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got the Thunderbirds record.
Yep.
Going back to Mad Mario and the Thunderbirds thing with the countdown on it. And I literally, I'd not done it before. I don't like heights. I'm not good with it. But I thought, it's a show, man. This is what I do. I was inside. So you got the lighting rig. So in the Dome, the DJ box was underneath and the lighting rig was, the lighting console was above it. I went in the ceiling, tied my rope to the girders, and then jumped off the lighting console down onto the stage, right?
Okay.
So rapturous applause. But what I did was, they played the countdown, I jumped off the thing, I slid down, I took my thing off, hit play on the record, and set a pyro. In them days, you could use pyrotechnics inside. Have you ever seen a bomb tank? Pyrotechnics bomb tank.
Bomb tank? No.
Yeah. So it's like it's got a metal base, square metal base on it. It's like a metal cylinder, and you put like a charge in there, and then you cover it with cardboard, and then you put confetti in it, right? So. But without the confetti, it would just make a fucking loud noise. Excuse my French. It'd make a loud noise.
Yeah.
Even louder if you wrap the charge in gaffer tape, right?
Okay.
Which I don't advise anybody to do at any point ever in history. So anyway, I jumped off the thing. I pressed play. As a plane jump around, come on. I pressed the thing. The thing exploded. Confetti went everywhere. I sprayed the crowd with foam. Everything was cool.
Yeah.
I won the competition, right?
Yes.
So, so the judges, and this is fun for the older people among us. The judges were Pete Waterman, right? Bruno Brooks, and Linda Lusardi. What the hell she was doing there, God only knows. But Google Linda Lusardi, and you'll see how beautiful she was in the 80s. So those are the judges. I won. Everything was happy, and all was good. The bizarre thing was that when I had to go back the next day and collect my prizes and my winnings, I had no petrol in my car. I was broke. I was broke, right? And I went to the petrol station and I had to pay for the petrol. I put £5 worth of petrol in. I opened the case with the $5,000 in it, and it was all in £5. And the guy
They gave it to you in fivers.
He was in fivers to fill the case out, right? And there is a picture of that. I'll send it to you, right? There's the picture of me holding that case, and there's Pete Waterman. There's the guy who was host, John Caccini. He was the host of the show, and me stood with holding the case of money, right? And the next day I had to go and pay for petrol, and I opened the case, and the guy was like, "Will that be all?" I said, "Yeah, fiver." Crazy times.
Crazy times.
Talk stories all day.
Oh, we have to bring it to a close, Mr. Pete, man. I wanted to say, we did say offline that Pete's got a massive back history, as you've been hearing, and it can go on. So we was gonna say we are using this episode as an intro into Pete Sheriff for the people that don't know. So we are gonna hold the questions for the next one, because like we said, I wanted to talk about definitely the red coat stuff, because I know you've got an extensive.
Oh yeah, we haven't even got to Butlins yet.
No, but it's good because I can see the stories to get to Butlins. Because that we're still in the early stages, Pete. You're still talking. We haven't even gone to 2000. You haven't even. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I know there'll be 2000. There'll be 2003, 2007, 2010, 2012, 2013, maybe 14, 15, 16, something happened. Then 18, then 20 lockdown, then 22.
And
then
you know what? The one thing I will say is, I'll tell you all the stories you want to know, and all these. There is no fabrication in any of these things that have happened. But what I will say for DJs is just keep grounded, man. I was always off doing all sorts, but I always remembered how it all started, and where. But don't get carried away with it. 100%. I mean, you know, we've still got BCM. My residency there, and we've still got that whole worldwide thing playing in New York and all that stuff to come.
Yeah.
But just don't get carried away with it. I got carried away in the early 2000s, and it didn't end well.
Yeah.
Because all them crazy things had happened, and I didn't pay attention to the things that mattered.
Yes. Yeah, which you learn in hindsight afterwards, which I'm sure we'll share in further episodes.
More so than anything, mental health.
Yeah.
But just, if you just, you know, and it's not, you know, that whole Avicii thing and that whole, and I understood when that happened. I went, okay.
Yeah.
You've got to look after yourself. Yes, you're an entertainer, and yes, you do what you do. But my advice to everybody is just make sure you give yourself time. Step out of it, give yourself some time, and go smash it.
I hear that. Great advice there. Another thing I want to say, I want to reiterate what you were saying before to others about you never know who's watching. You never know who you're speaking to. I think that's the main takeaway from this as well, because I have a bit of a saying where I'm like, people are always watching, and like people are always. If you're in the public, people are watching. If you're doing something, people are watching. If you're performing, like DJing, playing music, if you're doing something for the public, they are watching you. So, you know, watch what you do, watch how you say, watch how you act, like all of those types of things. Even similar to like when you were saying, I had a story in a pod earlier when I got into it with a client. This was about four years ago. But even as a seasoned DJ, you can still have that moment, because sometimes someone can push your buttons way more than someone else, depending on what they say. They could say something that just triggers, and you see red straight away, and then those kind of things can really mess up your DJ career and where you're going. And once again, people are always watching. So if they see you do something, they've seen you perform here, perform there, perform here, perform there. Yeah. For the last 3 years, 4 years, you could do one thing in 5 seconds that person sees, and it will write off all the great things that you've done, and they will remember you just for that one moment. So being mindful of that is another thing as well. So
oh, it's gone. I was just trying to get the picture of that thing that I was going to tell you about. 1 second, because there's 2 pictures that I wanted to show you. Wait 1 second. Hopefully they'll come round again in just a second before we finish. But there's 2 wicked pictures I wanted to show you, and then I can tell you for the next episode as a bit of a trailer, how we got from there to here. Oh, hang on, that sounds like a song, doesn't it? But yeah, there's a picture. I hope it comes around next because it'd be great to show you.
Yeah, come on, picture, come around. Isn't it like you can't tap the screen to make it go through the pictures? Or...
No, I don't think so. It was me and Jazzy Jeff.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
we got to get that picture. I'm waiting.
It's the craziest night ever. It was just mad. Warmed up for some people, man. Warming up for him was just insane.
Going through your Instagram, and even when I'm going through...
in fact, that picture's on Instagram.
Sorry?
If you scroll back far enough, that picture's on Instagram.
Going through your Instagram, there is so much people and that you've met. Even this Lucinda? Is it Lucy Lucinda?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
66 years old. She ain't doing too bad for 66. Go, boy. There's the one. Yeah,
you'd appreciate that.
She's not doing bad at all.
Yeah. There's, you know what? I always used to think, should I document these things or not? Should I take pictures? You know, I've got, you can't do these gigs without becoming friends with people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you could just sit in the back and not say anything to anybody, but that does nobody any good.
Yeah, that's pointless. It's a waste of time.
You never know watching, you never know listening, right?
There you go. Yep.
So I've got friendships with, I ain't going to name drop anybody other than Jazzy Jeff, right? But there's people that I've become friends with in the business now.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have even gone because you just wouldn't. Yeah. But there is people that I am now friends with that, and I don't mean showbiz friends. I mean proper friends.
Yeah, proper friends. Go around to the house, know their kids, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, barbecues, trips. Yeah.
And that to me is that's legacy to me. That is just knowing those people. And it's not, again, I ain't name dropping because it's not a show off thing.
Yeah, it's not flex.
Just, what I'm trying to say is, no matter what level you're at, whether you're a mobile DJ, whether you're a bar DJ, whether you're a festival DJ, whichever level you are, and however whatever your talent focus is, whether it's scratching, whether it's beat mixing, whether it's jumping off the roof, whatever it is, or just stay focused and be the best what you can be, because sooner or later someone's going to go, yeah, man, yeah, you can do this, or you could do that, or you could be here. Oh, the pictures are coming around again now, so I might be able to take this picture and show you. But just love the job. DJing, there's no other job like it in the world.
Not at all.
You could be a builder and you do your thing, you go home, your next day you get up, you're still a builder, right? DJing, you could be DJing in a bar 1 minute, you go home, go to bed, get up the next day, you could be DJing on the radio the next.
Yeah.
There's no other job you can do that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But like Phil from Digital DJ Tips, his thing is go out there and make the moments. It's a little bit of a cheesy saying, but it's the truest statement.
It's true. It's like facts.
Yeah. Do you not find that all those there is something happening in the next month or so with videos and bits and bobs and things, but do you not find, right? And this is something I'll put out there for the listeners and the viewers, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of videos, and he's really gonna kick off at me for this.
Go on.
But do you not find at the end, if you make it to the end of like Digital DJ Tips or Mojack's doing thing, they all say something weird at the end,
like a crazy sentence, like a catchphrase type thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Phil says, "Go out there, make the moments, and be the best you can be," or sort of sword fighting, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And then Mojack's always says, "I'll see you next time."
Yeah.
Most out of, and I've wanted to ask, and I really don't want to ask him about it. I don't want to offend him because I love him to bits. I think he's great. But isn't that not weird, right? He does all that video and he talks about his stuff and he goes, yeah, this is the thing and and it does this and it does that and he can wicka, and he gives brilliant things and he gets right to the end of the video and right out of character he goes, we'll see you next time. What is that? I don't understand.
I think it's the fact that you're speaking about it is the reason why it's done. It's that.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah. and when you're doing a show, because I noticed that I've got a thing at the end of this podcast where I go, geez, I didn't know, Pete, I did it until I listen to my own podcast. I do. I listen to my own podcast. I listen to it to see how it sounds and all that sort of stuff. And I get caught up in the conversations on my own podcast. I love that. But then at the end, I remember I binged about 3 and at the end, until next week, same time, I didn't know that I was doing something all the time, like right at the end. It's like, so maybe he might not even know it. Actually, they probably don't because they've been doing it for so long. But yeah, I just think it's just something you do. I just think it's like that just happens. I don't know.
Here's a fun fact for you, and something we'll finish off on this, right? In between this one and the next one, I've got a task for you.
Okay, shoot.
You need to go and look back in the Internet Archives. You know, there's a couple of websites now that will dig up. It's got like an archive of the internet, right? Go and find the World's Gone Mad podcast. And I think the logo was green, if I remember rightly. So the World's Gone Mad podcast, there's 11 episodes.
Was it UK, US?
Yeah, UK.
Okay.
It's me and a friend of mine called Matt, and this was before podcasts were a thing. The 4 podcasts, because there was only 4 at the time, the top 10 was only 4 podcasts because there wasn't 5.
Yeah.
Right? We were number 1. Ricky Gervais was number 2. I think the BBC had like their Friday night comedy night thing was number 3, and so on. Right? The World's Gone Mad podcast had to end, right? Because I'm just loving your whole podcast thing, right? The World's Gone Mad podcast had to end when I phoned the White House demanding to speak to Barack Obama, right? Drunken one afternoon in Matt's house. It's there for all to hear. And then 2 days later, we were just having a laugh. It was, I tell you when it was when the oil spill happened of the coast of Florida, and there was that oil spill, and it was trying to work out how to clean it up. Well, me being drunk one afternoon decided I was going to ring the White House. On my 3rd call, they were getting fed up, right, of me ringing. I was putting voices on and doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
All kinds of shit.
And the White House security Secret Service rang my phone and went, enough now. You got to stop. That was the end of it. I proper pooed my pants.
Yeah, because you're doing that's risky business right there.
Yeah,
that's risky business.
But you know, anything to get viewers.
Yeah, we do what we gotta do. Anyway, Pete, man, thank you so much for your time, bro. I can't wait to bring you back on. I actually can't wait to bring you back on. I'm gonna fast forward it so it's sooner rather than later. It's been so great hearing the stories, man. Like I love which I hope a lot of DJs are the same. I love hearing DJ stories. I think some of the best DJ stories are the come ups, that where you started your first 2 years. The best DJ stories are when things go wrong, because that's when you can actually learn something. When things are not always.
Of them.
Yeah. There's things going wrong. Those are the worst. The things that wasn't funny at the time but are funny now, those are the best stories too, because that's where lessons are learned. When you're like, at that time, crap my pants, I could have done this and nearly crashed. I was whatever it may have been, but I'm here to talk about it and I can laugh now. But at the time, there was no LOLs. I love DJ stories because I feel like they're all relatable. It doesn't matter where you are, where you DJ, we can all relate in some way and feel and hear a story and be like, I get it. I'm there. I can see it. I can smell it. I can feel it. Like, oh my God, what would I have done in that situation type thing? So I love a good DJ. I love a good DJ story. But yes, we will get you back again soon for some more stories and some more chats as well. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I hope the listeners enjoyed it as well. I'm going to put in Pete Sherris' TikTok and his Instagram in there where you can scroll through and see some of the stuff. It'll be good for you to look. So when you come back, you will see some of the questions that I'm going to be asking him on our next episode. You might see some of the hints on the Instagram, but you won't have the answers. So make sure you track back to the Mobile DJ Mastery podcast. Pete, is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to coming back.
Yes.
Thank you very much. It's there's lots to talk about. We need to talk about vinyl. We need to talk about, because that's the whole thing.
We need to talk about phrase, because you use phrase as well. Like you do phrase. You do mashups. You do. There's so much stuff that I see you doing the phrase. I see.
Greatest thing in the world, man.
I see.
They are just brilliant.
Great bit of technology that is, man. Great bit of technology. He's got his Serato, man. Yeah, he's not a fan of those now.
Oh man, just more acid. But you know what I did? I bought some record box vinyl, and it works with Serato as well, and DJ Pro as well. So I'm like, because at the moment I'm doing. So Mo Jax did a thing where he's doing 30 days of using DJ Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe there is a whole video coming on that of him doing it for 30 days. I thought I'd do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It's interesting. That the difference between. So I don't know about you. What do you use?
Record box. I use a bit of Serato, but I like to use a bit of Serato because I like to use multiple platforms, but I don't want to stay in one universe type thing. But I'm a record box. Yeah, I'm a record box user.
That is exactly that's the correct answer, right? Because these now, it's not a thing to stay with one. You should use them all.
I think so.
Virtual DJ's video is
insane,
and it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And the stems are unbelievable. So as a package, 200 quid or whatever, it's done. You're done forever. It's sorted. But for £49, or $49.43, a DJ Pro for a year, as long as you can suss out your putting playlists on it, happy days. It's brilliant. But I've just had to get a Mac. I was working on a Windows computer for some reason. Don't know how that happened, but just had to buy a Mac yesterday. I bought an M4 Mac.
So you've not had a Mac all this time, Pete?
No, probably 12 months. I switched over to Windows, just having a go and see what's going.
Okay. Just having a little play, seeing what's happening on that side, just keeping it interesting, keeping it fun. Okay, I get it. I'll let that one slide.
You know what? And I liked it, and what we're talking to you now on is on a Windows laptop, right? But it's like it was a Razer, whatever supercomputer.
Mm-hmm.
That Mac M4 that I bought. The only reason I did that is because of Mix Emergency. Because Mix Emergency is not available on Windows.
No.
Everything else is, but that. And that's the linchpin to the summer shows that I'm doing. Mix Emergency is the key to everything.
Okay. And you needed that, so that the M4 is going to put that out there.
But don't get me wrong. The point of me telling you that is that you don't need a Mac to just DJ with. You can DJ with a Windows computer if you want to.
One of the things I would say is that you can DJ with anything. Like there's software, laptop. There's no holdback. Your phone, apps. There's so much stuff that's out there now. You could DJ with anything. Obviously, we came from like vinyl days and stuff, but now if you want to DJ, I really want to DJ, you don't even need any money anymore. You don't even need any money.
Do it for free.
You can do it for absolutely free. You can learn how to DJ, and that free what you're using, you can go and use that in your first booking. You can go free software, free stuff. You're over there DJing off your phone. If people are dancing in there enjoying themselves, you're doing it.
Listen, this DJ Pro on an iPhone is, and there, I've commented loads on the video, but there's a video of Laid Back Luke talking about this. There's more processing power in an iPhone than there is in a CDJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the fact that you can do all, and the stems on this are better than stems on that.
Yeah. Which
On
doesn't
that
make any
M4.
sense. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't. It does. Now, either we're being stitched up
Yeah.
and they're going, not gonna give it a more.
Most probably.
Because I'm not going to play any copyright music because that'll get you a strike. But I do not understand how we've gone from stems kind of work to now being able to smash an entire gig
Off your
on
phone.
the phone.
Off your phone.
And you know the mad thing about it is something I discovered the other day, that if you load your stuff on iCloud, right, forget flipping record. I mean, I've done them all. Record Box, Cloud Sync, and the Virtual DJ Cloud Sync. That's very good, by the way, that one. The Virtual DJ was brilliant. But randomly, out of nowhere, with no billboard telling me, iCloud syncing between different devices.
Okay.
So
like your iPad and your iPhone and your Mac.
iPhone. Now, I tried it with a Windows computer, didn't work. It'll read it, but it won't write. It won't write to it.
Okay.
The same as if you've got a memory stick, there's Record Box, and you put it in a Denon device, it'll read it, but it won't write to it because they haven't got permission for the writing of details. So, if you add a cue point, if you put a memory stick in a computer, in a Denon device with Record Box on it, it will read it, but then what it will do is it'll create its own file to store in the cue points what you've put in. But when you put it back in put it back in some Record Box standalone gear or import it back to Record Box, those cue points won't be there.
What? So it will take those ones off and make new files for its own ones, but take the ones that you had originally off.
So no, what it'll do. So you got say for instance you got Free From Desire, right?
Yeah.
It's Record Boxed up. You've got cue point at the start, cue point in the middle, cue point at the end.
Yeah.
If you put your thing in a Denon will then make its own file on the memory stick.
Yeah.
To store those cue points. And if you make changes, it will store them. So when you put it back in, they'll still be there.
Okay.
However, those changes will not be there when you put it back in the Record Box.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of fair.
And I kind of understand it because they all these people are not talking to each other.
They're not. No. They got their backs.
But wouldn't it be a wonderful world? Sounding like a really old bloke, wouldn't it be a wonderful world if all these idiots all talk to each other and stop getting all up in everybody's face and everything work with everything?
That would be the best. I still think they think that there would be like they'll lose customers or anything like that. No, I don't think so. Like Denon users like to use Denon. Record Box users like to use Record Box. Virtual DJ guys like Virtual DJ. Vinyl guys like, you like what you like, not because of the price, not because of you just like it for whatever reasons that you like it, and that will continue. So if any one of those things was sent us open source and to say everything's open source, it will just make things much more easier, much more attainable. We will be able to collaborate and work together more. It wouldn't divide. I don't think it would anyway. But
no, I don't think it would. And the thing is, where they say, they've got the, I mean, I hate the term industry standard because I think that's nonsense. And it's only industry standard in your head, mate. It's not industry standard anywhere else.
Yeah.
And they go, this is industry standard equipment. Is it? I really? Okay. I just wish that they would. No one's got a corner of the market anymore. No one. They're all, if you look at the controller market, some people like Rain, some people like Newmark, some people like.
Yeah.
There is no. It's not like it used to be, where you have two Technics and a mixer. And enjoy.
Yeah, that's the only stuff that you can have. Yeah.
That you can have. I remember years ago there was a CD player. There was a Technics flatbed CD player, right? Not the big round one with the big thing, but it looked like a control panel from Blake 7.
Yeah, yeah,
But it was a CD player.
yeah.
And it had pitch control on it. And I bet you can't find one of them to put on the screen.
What, one of the CDJ techniques?
It's CDJ. Yeah, it was like a 1200.
They tried to make it look like the 1200, but digital.
Before that one.
Oh, before that one?
Before that one.
That's the only one I saw.
Yeah, you're talking about one with the big platter on it.
The massive mat. It was heavy. Yeah. The thing was so heavy.
There was one before that.
Technics never made. They only made one, then they failed. It failed.
Made one before that with a pitch control on it and a flat bed. And you pressed the button and the lid came up, put the CD in, put it down, and it had 1200 play button on it.
The big block square to make it still feel like it was analog.
Yeah. Same pitch control as a 1200.
No, I don't.
And it was a flatbed CD player with a screen like that.
All right, I'm gonna see if I found it. It's up now, and if I haven't found it, this little part of me saying that has been edited. It's been edited out. Mental.
Yeah, man. Anyway, listen. I'm showing my age now, so I'm going to go.
All right, guys, we'll go in the description where you can get all of Pete's IDs and tracks so you can give him a follow and check out some of the things. Look out for some of the future episodes we got coming out. Trust me, I'm telling you, there's going to be some more gems in this, as we always do, sprinkling those gems in.
Can I sign this off?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay. All right. Go on. You finish what you're saying, and I'll say the last thing, right? Go on.
Okay. So, other than that, guys, same place, same time next week. But I'm not going to sign off this last part. Pete's going to sign off. So go ahead, Pete.
We'll see you next time. He's going to kill me.
That was a Mojack shout out, by the way. But anyway, guys, we'll catch you next week. Cheers.